Hey, welcome into Inside Toppers Baseball. I'm Cody Shook alongside Coach Burkle. This past weekend we played Urbana, and the player of the week was Jordan Meyer. Can you talk about him?
Yeah, Jordan's stats weren't that great this weekend, but Jordan's become that guy that when he comes to the plate, you know you got a shot. Defensively, you know he's always going after the ball hard. And I think he had like 4 stolen bases. The kid runs a 7.5 60. He's slow, but he's the best base stealer we have. He's also the best kid that we have, and the fact that, you know, we're down 9-0 and he's battling. And I couldn't say that for 41 of our guys, you know. But Meyer gives us a shot at everything he does on and off the field, so he's my player of the week just on that standpoint. So.
All right. And then pitcher of the week, Greg Stigani, once again, 8 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Dropping his ERA to 2.21 this late in the season. Talk about him.
Oh, he's on a roll. You know, our 1 and 2, Mark and Greg, are both. It just so happened that Smitty got the hard luck loss this weekend. I think this weekend that was one of the best games that Smitty's thrown all year. He just happened to be on the bad end of a shitty team weekend for us. But again, Greg threw well again, threw great again. I mean, he's in complete control every time he steps on the mound, and he got a little frustrated because Urbana hit the ball, but Urbana is a team that they swing the bat the same way every time, so when you add some velo to it, it's going off of. So, I mean, he got frustrated, but I tried to explain to him that he doesn't need to. You know, he was in complete control. If you take a team that hits well and you scatter 6-8 hits and you don't give up 11 or 12 walks, the game becomes pretty easy.
Yep. All right, so then we did lose 3 out of 4 this weekend to Urbana. Only win came in Game 2 when Greg was pitching. Some of the crazy stats: 21 walks in the 4 games, 42 hits, 11 errors, and 4 hit batters. That's 77 base runners in 4 games. It's hard to win a game when you let 20 guys on base each game. Can you talk about that? Talk about the series. Talk about why we lost 3 games.
You just did. No, that's become a major problem for us. I thought maybe we had it worked out after the week before. You know, Sean threw pretty well last week. This week, he came out and laid an egg. I really believe that the prep work is starting to catch up to these guys. It's starting to show. You know, it's been that way all year. So the weekly prep work on these guys is caught up to them. They can't hide anymore. You know, when you're going to walk 6-8 guys, hit 3 guys, there's nothing that we can't defend that. And then what made it worse is the fact that we just had a bad team weekend. So it just, everything compounded. That's probably the most embarrassed I've been as a head coach in the 9 years I've been here, 4 as the head coach. And I promise you that will never happen again. And if these guys can't throw strikes on the weekend, then they need to be replaced, and that may be coming sooner than, you know, we only have 3 series left, so I don't know what I can do. But if we're going to lose my way. We're not going to lose their way, so I can promise you that.
As a team right now, our pitching staff has an ERA of 4.37, which isn't atrocious, considering we played 9-inning games as well as 7-inning games. So what do you think about the pitchers, bullpen, things to work on, stuff like that? What are you thinking?
As far as what they can work on, you know, we got 3 weeks left. They should be in postseason form by now. Just that's why we're getting left behind in these standings, because everybody else is getting to postseason form and we're still trying to find that. And that's, to me, that's crazy. And again, it probably comes down to a work ethic type thing. I mean, if you noticed, our 1 and 2 have done everything right for 3 or 4 years now. So now they're in postseason form. We've got some guys in the middle there that they're not doing what they need to do to get better, and that's why they're staying right where they're at. We've got some relief guys that are doing things right, and they're throwing strikes. You know, an umpire asked me after the 4th pitching change in Game 3, you know, I think his exact words, "Can this kid throw strikes?" And I said, "Yeah, he can throw strikes. He might just get hit a little bit," but he came in, threw strikes, and I actually got a thumbs up from an umpire. So that was one of the highlights in my book this weekend.
All right, now talk about our hitters. They're batting .287, what happened this weekend? Why did the Bats just not come alive? Was their pitching just so dominant? What was it?
Mentally, I don't think a lot of our hitters get it yet. You know, we're still swinging at marginal pitches and plus count cuts or neutral counts. We're swinging at bad pitches, and mentally, the guys don't get it. You know, when we're up 2-0 in a count, and if it's not a pitch we can drive, we're waving at it like it's a protection swing. And that, you know, there's nobody in our lineup that's a first-year guy offensively, so I don't understand it. And again, if they need replaced, we're going to lose. We're going to lose my way. So we'll see what happens this weekend, and if we get eliminated from this tournament run, then there's going to be some upperclassmen probably watching the last 2 series.
All right, so right now with 3 series left, our record is 21-14 with a 10-10 conference record. We're still holding on to the 3 spot right now with Jesuit 1 game behind us, and Urbana now 2 games behind us and for 3rd place. Talk about the standings, talk about where we are, talk about what's ahead of us, talk about where we need to finish.
Well, we're at 500 with Shepherd coming into town, and if the same West Liberty baseball team shows up this week that showed up last week in Urbana, we're going to be 10-14 and get swept at home for the 3rd time this year. So we'll see who decides to show up for us. That's been a problem for us. We don't know day to day who's showing up, whether that's offensively or that's, you know, on the weekends with the pitching staff. So, you know, I question you guys on your heart a little bit. So we'll see if guys reflect it a little bit and see where they want to take this. If they want to play in this tournament, great. If not, then we're going to go down my way. So.
All right, and this weekend, Shepherd does come to our field here with a 23-9 overall record and 16-4 conference record. They're sitting in the #1 spot. What are we doing this week to prepare for them coming in? And how are we going to beat them? Take split, 3, 4? How are we going to do it?
Well, our maintenance department has purchased truckloads of plywood to put over the windshields in right field and in left field to protect the windshields on cars, because they're coming in and they're going to hit some home runs. I think they have 55 as a team. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to try to keep the ball in the yard here. I think Smitty and Greg will be fine with that. You know, they both developed some off-speed stuff between last year and this year with changeup and a curveball. So that's the first
Keep
thing.
the ball down.
The second thing for us is more on the mental side. You know, we talked yesterday about some focus issues that we need to handle and some petty stuff. So if our guys come and they can play with Shepherd, but again, if it's an unfocused, just, you know, group of guys that just want to bitch about things, and then we're going to get our ass beat this weekend. There's no doubt about it. I mean, so we'll see who decides to show up for us.
Mm-hmm.
See who steps up.
Last season we did earn the split with Shepherd when they came up here. Do you think that's some sort of like playing to the competition? So Shepherd is the #1 team. Urbana was last place coming into this weekend. Do you think we stoop to their level and then rise to a Shepherd level when we play them, or something like that?
I would hope so. I mean, when you have #1 coming into your barn, I mean, shit, you better play up to it. And last year that happened. You know, we had a huge crowd. It's Cash Bash Day. We're going to have a big crowd again this year. Hopefully Shepherd comes in and realizes it's tough to play here. You know, twice this year so far, other teams haven't realized that. But I know Shepherd probably doesn't like coming here. They're probably thinking, oh man, we got to go back up there and listen to those people again. But and for us last weekend, you know, Urbana's a tough place to play for us. In my career, I'm 1-7 at Urbana. It's tough. I mean, it's just a dead little atmosphere up there, and it mentally drains you. So if you don't show up at Urbana, you get your butt smacked. And if you normally, if you don't show up here at the Hilltop ready to play, we can hang with you. So we'll see how our crowd is and how Shepherd reacts to our crowd.
Yeah, and Shepherd comes into it with a team batting average of .332 and a team ERA of 5.48. So really that shows that they swing it, they score runs, but they also give up runs. Talk about that.
Yeah, you know, offensively they're going to score their runs. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Defensively, you know more about them than I do, because I don't look at that stuff too much, because Shepherd's always been a team that fields it decently. You know, they play it pretty well, but there's every now and then they'll kick it around. You know, last year the left side actually gave us
The one win.
the walk-off win here. So you never know with them, and they always have good pitching. I know Crater's back, and you know, so they're going to throw strikes. They're going to hit the baseball. Now it's a matter of can we play with them.
Alrighty, well, that'll do it for this episode of Inside Toppers Baseball. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @Toppers Baseball for live updates on games and when we'll be posting new YouTube videos.